I don't have time for a boyfriend, Jungkook says, playing with the fabric of his apron. Education and work are my number one, so I suppose there's no hope for me. The man nods as another smile crosses his faces. Well, don't lose faith. There are none so distant that fate cannot bring together. Taehyung answers for him. Jungkook laughs lightly, bashfully. That's beautiful. Taehyung gives Jungkook a nod, still smiling warmly at the boy. Jungkook Big Al yells from the window of the kitchen, making Jungkook turn, breaks over Jungkook's eyes, turning back to Taehyung. Alright, well, goodbye, Jungkook. Taehyung bids, wanting nothing more than to take Jungkook to the nearest park and talk to him for hours, really get to know Jungkook. He seems like such a sweet person. As Taehyung watches the beautiful boy walk back to the hosting station, he feels smitten. From then on, he starts showing up every Thursday, around 5 p.m. The two always get in trouble for talking too long, which always makes Jungkook roll his eyes and leave Taehyung with breathtaking smile. At the time Taehyung would come, the golden sun would hit the diner and make Jungkook look especially stunning. It made Taehyung want to pull him in and never let go. Always smiling, Mr. Kim, Jungkook says, placing a cup of coffee in front of Taehyung. There's plenty of things to be happy about, Taehyung says, slowly taking a sip. Oh yeah? Like coffee burns in a bad burger, like cute guys and free food. You're too charming for your own good, Jungkook says as he sits down for the third time, knowing he'll get yelled at again if he gets caught. What can I say? Taehyung says with an endearing smile. I have a soft spot for you, and burn spots. Jungkook giggles, taking Taehyung's hand into his own. They're healing nicely though, Jungkook says as he examines the reddened skin. Taehyung watches Jungkook inspect his hand, his heart filling with copious amounts of infatuation. Well, I have a fantastic doctor looking after me. Jungkook looks up through his lashes, smiling at Taehyung. Taehyung could feel his heart pound in his chest. You have kids? Jungkook asks, catching a glimpse of Taehyung's text messages. The sender had started the text with Daddy. There was only 3 packages, not 5. Taehyung chuckles, turning off the screen when he realizes the message was still up. No, just a stupid nickname my friends gave me. He totally has a thing for you, says, bumping Jungkook. Jungkook giggles, looking over to Taehyung from the host station. Does not. Taehyung looks up, locking eyes with Jungkook, and a grin spreads across his face. Still smiling, Mr. Kim, Jungkook asks, setting his hands on his hips. Only for you, Taehyung says with a wink. How are we today? Jungkook asks, walking up to Taehyung's usual table, trying to calm the stupid butterflies in his stomach. Taehyung looks up from his phone, his frown turning into a faint smile. Could be better, he says, turning over his phone on the table. And how are you? Jungkook pretends to think hard about it. I'm feeling good. I have finals in a few weeks and I'm feeling pretty good about it. This makes Taehyung smile. I'm happy to hear that. And how's Sof? She's probably listening to every word you're saying. Jungkook giggles, turning to the kitchen to see if he can catch Sof watching them again. When he sees no sign of her, he turns back to Taehyung. But she's good too. Taehyung nods, genuinely happy to hear about Jungkook. What can I get you today? Jungkook asks, pulling his writing pad and pen. I think just a coffee today, Taehyung says, picking up his buzzing phone. Long night ahead of me. Jungkook nods, even though Taehyung is typing on his phone. He makes a fresh pot for Taehyung, suspiciously eyeing the handsome man from behind the counter. Penny for your thoughts. Soft takes Jungkook out of his reverie. She puts down a bin of dishes and leans against the counter. Jungkook says, pouring the coffee into the cup, has Taehan ever told me what he does for a living? Soft takes a minute to think. Her being Jungkook's best friend, she knows everything Jungkook does about Taehan. In fact, about any potential significant other. And let me say, there is a lot of potential here. I think sales and marketing. Soft purses her lips, trying to remember. Jungkook sets a spoon on the saucer. Poor guy. His phone is ringing like crazy. He said it was going to be a long night. Well, more hot babe time for you, Soft says with a wink. Jungkook laughs, taking the coffee to Taehyung's table. As Jungkook approaches the table, he can't help but notice the deep-set frown in Taehyung's face. His eyebrows are pulled down and he's listening intently, obviously unhappy with whatever the other line has to say. I understand your concern, Taehyung says coolly, making Jungkook slow his steps. But if you ever disrespect me like that again, you're done. Jungkook clears his throat, giving it Taehyung to compose himself as Jungkook approaches. Taehyung hangs up the phone without a goodbye and cracks his neck. Jungkook sets down the coffee for him and Taehyung smiles. Thank you, of course. Let him. Jungkook starts, but is interrupted by Taehyung's phone ringing again, to which Taehyung rolls his eyes. Oh, Jungkook tries to excuse himself, but Taehyung tugs his arm. No, stay, Taehyung insists. I want to hear about your history test. It'll be a second. He picks up the phone and Jungkook awkwardly shifts his weight from feet to foot. Here Taehyung answers the phone. Jungkook can't help but notice the unusual greeting to his colleague. He also notes Taehyung's face immediately turning to a frown again. What do you mean? Where? Taehyung asks the person on the other line. His voice sounds urgent, but he quickly changes his tune with a side glance to Jungkook. You know what? We'll talk about this new development when I get there, Taehyung says, offering a grin to Jungkook. Yeah. Bye. Taehyung hangs up the phone, sighing deeply, almost dramatically. That was the office? Is everything okay? Jungkook asks. Yeah, well, they need me down there to resolve some issues, he says with an apologetic smile and pulls out a few dollars to set on the table. Or, Jungkook feels a little disappointed their time was cut short. I hope you figure it out. Taehyung stands, only a few inches away from Jungkook. The mood changes immediately, the two now toe-to-toe with each other. Jungkook looks up to the handsome man, seeing a sad and concerned expression, but before Jungkook can fully register the look, Taehyung says softly, I will. His statement should have been light-hearted and cheeky, but it felt different. The way he said it was more like a promise. The way he said it took the air out of Jungkook's lungs. And for a moment they stand, so close Jungkook could reach up and touch his face, even kiss him, with one move. This is the first time they've been this close since Jungkook had bandaged his hand. Taehyung's face seems so serious. Au revoir, Jungkook manages, only feeling right to come out as a whisper. Taehyung's serious look is melted into a smile. Jungkook giggles, not at all fluent in French. Taehyung chuckles too, completely infatuated with the boy. Until next time, Taehyung steps away, Jungkook almost falling toward him, as if there's some invisible rope attached to the two of them. He watches Taehyung leave, feeling that something wasn't quite right. This goodbye was different than the other, not just in their proximity, but in the words. The following Thursday, Taehyung doesn't show up. Jungkook can't help but feel a little disappointed he didn't get more time with Taehyung the last time he was here. But there's always next week. He starts to lose hope the third time Taehyung doesn't show up. Truth be told, Jungkook sort of misses a curly-headed charmer. He made Jungkook a giggly, gooey mess, and Jungkook loved it. Eve notices Jungkook's discouraged spirit, although he hides it well. Jungkook still smiles warmly at the customers and laughs with them, but ever so often, he'll glance at the door in hopes that Taehyung will walk in with his famously handsome smile and ask for a coffee. He's still a little disheartened by the fact that Taehyung didn't really make a move toward Jungkook, not asking for a number, or to grab lunch somewhere other than the dinner. He really did think there was something there. But it is what it is. Life goes on.